In by my desk, yeah, to the left of my desk. There's a box.
Yeah, that's one of those days.
Okay. Any nope. Start. They're appreciated but not required. They're appreciated but not required. Let's put it that way. We're a few minutes away from 9 yet.
Silenced.
That's a good question.
That's something else.
I-
Is this something that we've already done? I can sign you to you.
Yeah, it is. It's the ordinance we passed last week. Yep. Oops. Okay.
It was an odd occurrence. The deputy was escorting a prisoner from out of the upstairs jail courtroom down the steps this morning.
Does happen once in a while.
Don't see it very often. Have a good time down at the fair. Bull riding pretty good. Pretty well attended.
Yesterday wasn't a lot of fun.
Rain all day yesterday.
Yeah, it was a soggy day yesterday. It's very cold, and the vendors started closing up early. They were getting out of there.
I can't.
Well, they didn't have the they didn't have the
No, they
Kibble.
canceled it.
yeah.
Because the rain.
Yes.
Supposed to be in the 70s by Saturday.
Yeah. How about out in the hills, it was 90 something, or Denver, it was 90 something yesterday and today was snowing.
Yeah, we got 10 inches of snow and wind.
Yeah.
10 inches.
You know what? That's a good place for it. That's,
Yes, it is.
that's a good place for it.
Gone by noon.
It'll be gone by noon, yeah.
Morning, everyone.
It's Tuesday.
Anticipation is called. Anticipating the bids.
There's trouble. Oh, morning, Shauna.
That way you don't have to listen quite as close.
All right, it is 9 a.m. I am going to call our meeting of the Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. It is Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I believe it's my turn this week, so I'll start with that.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everyone. It's nice to see a full house today. We're not used to that, so. Also, I would mention that for individuals who do not feel comfortable coming to our meeting, we will still allow them to call in, and those items are items that are not on the agenda for just for us to hear, and no action will be taken. The two phone numbers are 882-6248 and 882-6297. and that will be held during the open portion. Item number 3, conflict of interest items on the agenda for any of the commissioners.
None.
All right. Item number 4, action to approve the September 8th, 2020 agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Action, number 5, action to approve the minutes of the September 1st, 2020 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Van Duzen. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. All right, item number 6, public hearing and action to approve a resolution for the renewal of the Northwestern Energy's power lines along with Codington County Public Highways. So I guess first I will open up the public hearing for this agenda item. Is there a representative who would like to come and speak on the behalf?
Yeah, we do have.
So if you'd want to come forward and state your name, and then you can come on up here and sit.
Yep. In the hot seat.
Come on up and have a seat.
All the way to the front.
All the way to the front.
all the way up.
Yep, yep. You get to talk on a microphone, then
It
we can
locks
hear.
behind you.
If you would just state your name and your
And the seat is wired.
affiliation.
Blood
My
type.
name is Robert Gem. I'm the real estate representative for Northwestern Energy in South Dakota, Nebraska.
All right, so with that, if you would like to give a little information about what your proposal or what this resolution entails.
Absolutely. These county franchises are part of the oversight for public utilities in the state of South Dakota so the PUC assigns territories for electric utilities. And then within that, in each county would be these franchises that term every 20 years. So what you have before you would be a renewal of our electric franchise in Codington County for our facilities that are mostly located in the northwest area of your county and the southern part of your county.
All right, so this is for another 20 years is what
It
basically.
is, and bear in mind, there's these county franchises, they're both for electric and gas in each county. This gives us a grant to install our facilities along public highways in the statutory right-of-way or expanded highway right-of-way. There's still permitting required through the county highway department, so that's another layer of oversight. And this franchise just fits in with the bigger picture.
All right. All right, with that explanation, this is the time and place for the public hearing. Is there anyone else in the audience that would wish to speak on this item?
I'm Dave McElhaney.
Dave, can we have you, let me get it.
Do we have the portable mic?
Oh, I-
He'll get you a mic in just a second.
Is it on?
Yep, should be.
I'm Dave McElhaney. I own a piece of property in the county, not in the city, adjoining city property. And I'm having trouble figuring out. The city says that they constructed a line, a power line, a heavy power line on the property prior to me owning it. And I'm looking around and I can't figure out what power company is servicing that. I've looked for signs. I see some gas markers that the gas, you mentioned gas. I see some markers that are gas, but I don't see any marks that I can relatively find on the power lines. And how do you mark them? How do you mark your lines?
I don't believe they are marked. They're
Well, how's a person supposed to know then? You advertise this meeting to come to this meeting. And how's a person supposed to know if those are your lines or not?
We call highway department.
Oh, is that my job? To call the highway department? I would have never guessed.
I'd be happy to research.
Okay, I own the property between 21st Street West and Arrowhead Seeds. It's approximately 109 feet wide and about 1,450 feet long.
Dave, I'm gonna give you a business card, or I can get your number. I'll give you a call. Regarding that.
This has been ongoing I've owned the property for 20 years, maybe. And the city claims they have an agreement with the Northwest Railroad or at that time. And I have a copy of the recorded agreement that says that at such time, the railroad can cancel that agreement to have those poles there. They allowed them by license to put them up. And it says that they can cancel that in 30 to 60 days, they have to remove everything. The city claims that they have a license agreement, and any agreement, okay, I bought what the railroad had. I now own what the railroad had. And I own the agreement that the railroad had. Would you disagree with that?
But again, I'll need to research this.
I might,
You're asking me
yeah,
questions.
I might interrupt this. This is kind of off base of what, we're just approving the resolution, but if you have, he sounds like he's willing.
It's not off base if it affects me. It is county property.
Okay,
The city is trying to tell me that they own the poles. That's fine. They can have the darn poles. Just get them off my property.
right. So I'm just saying this would be a conversation, it sounds like, then you'll determine whether it is their line or not. It may not
I'd
be
be
their
happy
line.
to research this for you. As you can see, there's just a lot of layers when it
Right.
gets into property rights
Right,
for.
I've never been
electric
able to get
facilities.
to the bottom of it. They tried to run additional underground lines on my property and I told them I'll pull them out. They finally got their equipment and their wire out of there.
so, all right. He will get you a business card and then we'll figure out if it's their line or not. If it's not their line, then I don't know if
Sounds
you
like
check
you're-
with the other power companies as well and
Is
see.
it, are you servicing Watertown from the west?
We have a line, transmission line.
Okay. This would be it, wouldn't it?
Again, I don't know the property.
75,000 KWs or whatever it is, or, okay.
All right.
Your business card.
Good deal.
Put it on now. What do you call it? Home?
Do you have the card
Absolutely.
today? Yeah, he'll get it for you, Dave, if you want, just hold, he has a card for you. If you want, just wait a few moments, he'll get you the business card right today. And then we'll try to get that figured out, if it's their line,
I hope somebody figures it out,
right?
because I have agreement that they're supposed to remove that.
Okay,
All right,
I'll research it.
sounds good. Then we got that. Hopefully we'll get a resolution to that issue. Anyone else have any other public comment about the resolution? Seeing none, I will close the public portion then of this, for this resolution and look for board action.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion by Gable.
Second.
Second by Van Duzen. Is there any questions, comments, concerns?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
what's the current expiration date for the thing, the agreement that we're renewing? What's the,
I don't know.
August 6, 2020,
that's when you filed the,
That's the,
for the
that's the
permission to
application.
erect it.
Yeah, okay.
That's a 20-year agreement.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 20, so we're just looking at renewing what's already there.
Right.
these are for existing facilities.
Okay.
And if you do anything more than what's currently there, you have to seek an agreement with the landowners to do any further, like easements or that sort of thing, if you're
It could
going
be
to.
Any combination of highway permitting, private land easements.
So anything new needs additional.
As Dave mentioned, railroads or licenses.
All right.
Perfect.
So it isn't something you can just go ahead and do without permission if it's out of where you're already located, basically.
No, this is a grant to be in the public right away, and the way we look at that is we're guests in the public right away. So should there be any highway projects, it's our responsibility to work with the highway department and relocate our facilities at our expense, should they need to be moved.
All right. All right.
If you
Rick.
turn around, our highway
I was
superintendent
just
is
saying,
sitting
Rick,
in
do
the
you have
audience
any?
here. You might as well introduce you to him.
Whenever there's anything done, even like Codington Clark, they send in a permit request, and it's all done within the right of way.
Okay.
So that's.
What if it's railroad right away?
You're talking, you gotta talk to the railroad.
Yeah.
Those are
The
like,
railroad is abandoned, it's property and sold it off. My property.
All
Like I
right.
said, you're gonna have to talk to the guy up there in the front that's
All right.
gonna do a little research for you.
Any other questions, comments, concerns from the board? Hearing none, are we ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. If you just get your business card to Dale.
Thank you.
And then, yes,
Thank you very much.
yeah, Cindy, make sure you get all your expenses put together.
Okay, it'll be a while because we don't get our affidavits until the following month for our publications.
Okay.
Is that okay?
All right.
All
Do
right.
you have any questions?
I will. I'll probably email you to make sure I know what I need to provide you
Okay.
when this
That
is
works.
all done. So,
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank
Yep,
you.
thank you.
Do you have an additional business card that I would,
I have one.
you have one? Okay, Cindy's.
But
has
I
one.
can-
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just email. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, item number 7, public hearing on the 2021 provisional budget. I will open it up to the public. If there's anything on our provisional budget that anyone has any questions, concerns about. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing portion and move to the board. Is there anything that the board would like to discuss about the 2021 provisional budget?
So, Madam Chair, on number 14 on the agenda is related to one of the items that we've been talking about. I mean, I could talk about it now, or we can just wait till that point on the agenda.
Let's just wait.
Okay, we'll wait then. All right, then that's taken care of. Let's move on to monthly reports. The first one is the auditor.
We have received our ballots, but we cannot let anyone vote until September 18th. We've had a lot of calls. We're preparing almost 3,000 absentee requests to be mailed out on the 18th of September. I'm getting a lot of emails from people who are just asking me to send them a ballot, so I have to reply to them. You cannot request an absentee electronically unless you're an overseas citizen or a member of the military. So I attached the form to the email that they actually need to print it out, physically fill it in, and either deliver it to my office or send it by USPS.
What about sample ballots? When are you able to obtain those to look them over?
I'm printing those as we speak. So the problem is, I mean, it's not a problem. So we will have those available, but people are going to have to give us their name, first and last name. So we make sure we give them the correct ballot
Right.
face because we have 4 different ballot faces. When people come in and ask for a sample ballot, we ask them their name. They kind of look at us like, why do you need to know that? We need to know it so we can give you the correct ballot.
Can I interrupt? Just so people know, it's easy to do online on the
It
Secretary of
is.
State.
I was going
on
to
the
walk
Secretary of State
through that
website.
right now. The Secretary of State's website has a voter information tab. You click on that, and then over on the far right-hand side, there is a tab or a box for, it says voter information portal VIP. You can put in your name, your first name, your last name, your date of birth, or your zip code. And you have to enter a verification code. And when you do that, it will bring up your information. It'll tell you where your polling place is. It will show you the ballot that is available for you in the general election. Let me,
And the website again is
SD.
SD
Yeah.
SOS
SOS.
.gov.
of course, this will take forever. I'll just skip that part. Yeah, so when you call it up, it'll show you, and if you have received an absentee ballot and you've mailed it back to us and we have recorded it in down the road, you can go to this site and it'll show you that we have received your ballot and it is in our hands. So you can track your
Okay, sure.
absentee ballot also.
Yeah, here's the page here. You can-
Okay, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
First name, last name, date of birth.
Yep.
Or your
Or your
code.
zip, because some,
And
we've tried to put in all of the dates of birth, but some of our voters who have been around for a long time, at one point, date of birth was not required when you registered to vote. So I think in Codington, we have managed to put in dates of birth for all of our voters, but I'm not sure if that's the situation across the state. So I assume that's why the zip code is also
That's better.
allowed there. Yeah, so you go into that site, it'll show you what your ballot looks like, where your polling place is, what ward and precinct you live in. It's a very informational site. The other thing is the voter registration deadline is October 19th. If you're not registered to vote by that date, you will not be able to vote in the general election. And we do have a number of publications that are coming up. We are required by statute to publish the entire texts of the 3 ballot issues. Those are just costs that are incurred by the county. It's a long document. It's in the legal sections of the newspaper. We're also required to publish a sample ballot closer to election day. And other than that, we've got all of our values, our taxable values for taxes payable in 2021 are sent to the Department of Revenue so they can check over them. The current taxable value of all the properties in Codington County is $2,851,249,841. That includes centrally assessed utilities, ag land, owner occupied property, mobile homes, and all other properties, which would be commercial, would be considered in the other group. So everything just kind of hit at once. The values were required, the ballots came in, but we will have voting in the hallway outside the office. We will not have as many booths set up as we normally do, so we can observe social distancing. And, you know, we would appreciate it if voters would wear a mask when they come in. We do have plexiglass hanging in the office to separate us, but we appreciate masks, but they are not mandatory.
And it's more so for the other individuals that are voting as well.
Right,
that would
right.
be come in contact.
The other thing is we have started the process of taking temperatures of everybody in the office twice a day for precautionary measures.
Very good. Any questions for the auditor? If not, let's move on then to Director of Equalization, Shauna, if you'd come forward, please. Good morning.
Morning.
I don't have as much to report as Cindy. We're still continuing to work on our sales splits, new plats that come in. The appraisers are pretty much finishing up all of the work that they were doing with the pictometry. And then we are going to start with building permits. Right now, I know they're wearing masks and stuff when they go out. What they're doing right now is all outside work. We're gonna kind of have to play it by ear, I think, when we start doing building permits, because we will need to be going into the new houses. We're not as worried about as commercial buildings and things. They're open to the public. But until we actually start leaving tags, I'm not sure how that's really gonna look. I don't want to, I mean, people don't want us in their houses anyway. Now it may be even worse, so we'll kind of have to play that by ear. I really don't want to upset anybody by, you know, having to go in, but we'll take as many precautions as we can for us and them. And then now, it's the time of year, our year end basically is November 1st, our cutoff date. So we'll be taking, right now we're doing the flooded farmland applications, we're renewing all the tax exempt status. Any of the programs that we have, most of them have a November 1st deadline. So we'll be putting out a bunch of PSAs and stuff and getting those in the paper and let people know that it's that time of year to start working on that stuff. So.
Very good. Do you have any of the flooded farmland apps anymore now that they staying steady for what we've had?
Well, it flooded a lot last year, but it needs to be inundated for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so then this year it's drying up. We did get a new flyover, so we'll be looking at those anyway, counting our acres off of that, just to see where the water is at as of last year. But it's just, we don't really get very many new ones. And then it's one of those things where if people remember to come in or not, but there's not a whole lot of new stuff. Last year there would have been, but we just couldn't count most of it yet. So.
Right, because it has to be 3 years.
Yep.
All right. Anyone else have any questions for Shauna?
All right,
All
thanks
right.
guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Shauna.
I do have one more thing.
Yeah.
Well, this 2.8 billion that I reported in valuation, that is our taxable valuation that we use to calculate levies. So it does not include the valuation of tax exempt properties, everybody who qualifies for some kind of program, it does
Yep.
not include those. I'm trying to think, and it does not include TIF values, which are at about 53 million right now, all within the city of Watertown, so.
Yeah, we got quite a bit of new TIFs this year,
14, I think, isn't there?
quite a bit. Not all of them are quite done yet. Well, not
No,
all
they
this
aren't-
year.
they aren't all-
There's a one tonight that they're.
Right,
Yeah.
and that would not be eligible.
Yeah, we didn't get 14 this year.
Until
Um,
paid 2022, right?
Yep, yep,
The one they're acting on tonight, yeah.
yep.
Okay.
And basically, I'm not sure if you guys really know what a TIF district is. But as far as the actual taxes payable to county, city, school districts, when a TIF is created, the state of South Dakota gives them what their assessed value was, their last certified value by the state. And then anything above and beyond that, so say the lofts are here now, just as an example. Basically, the base value is what the state sets, and that value is based off the land value. So we'll just say like $50,000 for the land value. And then the lofts will come in and say it's a $2 million building. And so we, as the county, put in our base value and put in the new stuff. And so we figure out their tax bill, we send them their tax bill on the full, say $3 million. And then the city will, the money that we generate taxes from the building will all go completely to the city. And then the county, city, schools will all retain and share just the taxes due on that land. So I know I had not really understood it, so that's why I'm kind of explaining it. So for 20 years, the city, schools, county is not getting any tax dollars on that new building. Some of our TIFs out in like Pheasant Ridge development over by, over on the east side of town, those are gonna start coming off. I looked at one of those tax bills and it was like $60,000 for a tax bill. And the actual county, city, school split was like $2,000, so that's $60,000.
The rest of it
The
goes
rest of it all goes back to the city to pay back this TIF district.
in the
So,
infrastructure,
Yeah.
basically.
yep, so
So
basically
our
on the
oldest TIF is
structure.
probably the Glacial Lakes Energy. Is that correct, think?
That could be, I know
I mean,
there's some like
yes.
2001,
Yeah,
2003.
yes.
I can't remember if Pheasant Ridge was done before.
Nope, I think Glacial
Glacial Lakes would have been the
Energy
first
was
one?
the original one, I believe.
What is the length on those?
20
20
years
years?
generally. They set it up at the beginning. So then they do all the paperwork and set up the years at beginning of the TIF, and then they send the paperwork over to us, because they basically, then they don't take the discretionary just so that the city can get paid back the money. So they don't even do that 0%. But just so everybody's kind of,
And
I've worked here a
during,
long time, I didn't actually really understand quite what these do, but the TIF districts, the more we get, we're not seeing that money for 20 years,
The
but
taxpayer is paying a tax bill,
Yes.
it's just not
They pay-
coming
yep.
to us. Yeah. Yeah,
And in those 20 years, the
base value
assessed
doesn't
value,
generally-
doesn't that?
It does, but the base value stays the same, so anything that's,
so I'm looking at the
Incremental,
lofts
it
right
goes
now,
up, yeah.
and it looks like there's a base value maybe of 26,000.
yep,
Does
that's.
that
the
sound
land,
right?
yep.
Okay, and that comes from last November 1st.
Mhm.
But when it comes out at a higher, I mean, the
Yep.
amount that it's supposed to be at, and that's what they're gonna pay the taxes on, not their entry amount, right? It will
They
continue to
pay
get
the
more.
taxes on the total amount, but then it gets split up between what goes back for the TIF and then what actually
The
gets
base.
dispersed.
We get the
Like,
base,
yeah, we get the
whatever,
base
whatever the base is, it's usually pretty low.
Right.
for the 20 years.
But when it
so-
comes out, it's at the accurate value
Yep.
at that
Yes.
time.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the incentive part, the I in TIF, what's so.
The
is-
incentive for them is
Describe
that they are basically they'll be paying the same amount no matter what. If they didn't get this TIF, they would still be paying the same amount of tax bill. And it would be going all to just taxes instead of now it's going back to pay back a loan that they got.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So that's what I thought.
Yep, and that's what brings
pretty
people
good.
here, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what
Tax.
brings people here. It's just, I don't think everybody realizes
Thank
that
you
it's
for
for
saying
20.
It's tax
24
increment
years, yeah.
financing.
And it's not, it's on the building, not the land.
Yep, it's on anything that's new from the time that the base was created. Yep. I just thought it was interesting.
And the one tonight is on Stony Point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Stony
that
Point
will
project.
not take effect until taxes payable in 2022.
And that value, most of that's marshland. And they just acquired, they switched and stuff. And so I've been looking at that. So that value isn't that high either. I mean, it is a little bit, it's a lot of marshland and stuff, but that's kind of cool too. That's,
If I was a farmer and I wanted to build a new hog house, a hog facility,
Mhm.
could I get a TIF on my hog house?
Well, the TIFs are generally done by the city. I haven't seen the county do any. That'd more be a question for Luke. I'm not, I've never seen
I think
anybody
it
in the
can be
county.
done. I don't think
Yeah,
they've
it can be
but I
done.
think it
There,
can
there
be
are
done.
some county TIFs. I believe maybe Clark County has a TIF, maybe Hamlin County also has a.
That'd probably be
I know-
something that
I
you would
know
have a say in.
Clark was trying to adopt it or
But
to
you
get
have
one.
to, your property, your project has to qualify per state
And
standards.
it's a limited amount of funding, right?
I don't even know. We don't get involved
I
in.
don't know if there is.
in
I don't know if
this-
there's
yeah,
a
because-
limit.
Isn't there a certain percentage that you
Mhm.
can't go over as far as a city or a county?
I don't
know.
It seems
I've
like
never
there
heard
was
that.
maybe,
Say
maybe not.
really
Pennington County,
They're
I
only
think,
gonna
has
benefit
like
on the-
hundreds of TIFs.
on the
Okay.
large
Out there.
amount of,
Yeah.
the
Like,
ti- a
yeah.
lower building amount really wouldn't.
We could have Todd Case come in and explain that,
Yeah.
but
That'd be
I know they
But
can
that
do it
would
out
be
in
a
the
question
county,
for,
but
the county, yeah.
they're
Or you
just
guys.
typically not done,
Mhm.
Good
Yeah.
to know.
so.
Interesting. But yeah, it's been bringing things here, so
It's a tool.
it's a tool, exactly.
Otherwise, they go somewhere else.
All
All
right,
right, do we have any other questions for Shauna?
all right, thanks,
For the
guys.
Yep,
lesson.
thank you. Yeah, we learned something new today. Item number 9, action to approve the auditor's account with treasurer and note the register of deeds fees.
The register of deeds fees for the month of August were $43,185.10. The report you're looking at is the auditor's account with the treasurer as of the last day of business in August 2020. Also shows you where our cash fund balances are between the general fund, the road and bridge fund, and the special revenue funds. And the other thing of interest that kind of ties in with our cash balances is we have received $550,000 in CARES Act reimbursement monies. And I still have a number of things to put in. I've got payroll in through the month of August, so we will have payroll for 4 more months.
That will
And
get
that's-
reimbursed on.
Yep, that's averaging about between $85,000 and $88,000 a month that we are getting for that. So we have received $550,000 of the 1.8, I think we were allocated, something like that.
Very good. All right, so I would look for a motion to approve the auditor's account with the treasurer.
So move.
Well, second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Gable. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, that motion carries. All right, action to approve part-time election assistant in the auditor's office if necessary. Item number 10.
This would be basically if we need help getting those 3,000 ballots ready to go in the mail in 10 days. If I don't need it, or if I can utilize employees from other offices, I will. If I did need to hire somebody, it would be a basic clerical staff amount.
All right,
Anywhere
I'll
in
move to
that.
approve that.
Second.
motion by Johnson, second by Waterman. This is something we've done
Yes.
in the past. You have someone in mind?
Not right now. And the other thing is, I don't know what to expect for in-office voting, to tell you the truth. With 3,000 ballots already going out in the mail, I have no idea what to expect. I know there are some people who do want to come in and vote in the courthouse. Part of my monthly report should have also been, please be an informed voter. Don't come in if you don't know what's on your ballot. Because once you vote it, you're done. Once it's in the ballot box, you're finished. There's no going back and changing your mind. So try to be informed before you come in. Anyway, yep, the part-time help.
Very good. So we got a motion and second. Any other comments?
The only comment I would make, do we need to, Dave can work that out if we need somebody down.
We have someone in place already, and that will
Yeah.
probably start
And if,
kicking in.
It just depends on the traffic, yeah.
They kind of,
Like I said,
but
I
does-
have no idea how many people are going to try and come in.
but does he need to know that we're okay with that?
he knows that, yeah.
I think.
That's already been the general
Yeah.
understanding, that they're kind of monitoring, Dave is, and then if the need arises, then Steve will come in.
Okay.
All right, any other comments, questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 11, Ray Kranz, review of the county employee health insurance renewal premiums and action to approve the renewal premiums for employee health insurance with Sanford.
Morning, Ray.
Good
morning,
Ray.
Ray, give us our great news.
Perfect, thanks.
I think I'm kicking one of those around under
Thank you.
my desk here.
Well, thank you for letting me come in again. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming in.
The renewal, I'm sure you already know, is a 9.1% increase. If you look at that first page, it does go through the different benefits and the current rates and what the renewal rates are. So most of the employees are covered underneath the $1,000 deductible. That's option one. And the current rates are $712. They will be going to $777. The family is $1,780 and will go to $1,943. And then we're losing a few in the family, and that's kind of disappointing. And then I know the rates are going up, but so are everything else, and it's kind of frustrating. But we've only got 3 on option 2, 3 families, and we got 4 families in option 3. And those are both are obviously going up 9.1% as well. There's no change, no difference between them. The rest of the pages in that first part are just different options that you could, let's say you didn't like these options for some reason, we could change them to whatever you want. At the end of the year here, anybody can switch from whatever option they want to. Obviously, employees that are just single and just want a single policy, it wouldn't make any sense not to keep the option 1. But if you do have a family, the rates are significantly cheaper. I mean, you can see a family rate is $1,656 compared to $1,943. So, approximately $300 cheaper if you go into the $3,000 deductible per month. So it is quite a savings for a family. So I don't know if you have any questions on that or.
You said 3,000 deductible per month or per
No,
year?
per year.
Per year.
Sorry, the $300 per month
Oh.
savings.
Oh, okay, that way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep, on the premium.
okay.
So,
So
yep,
the thing that's on our screen is the $1,000 deductible.
yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes,
just so
it is.
people know what we're talking about.
Yes, it is. I didn't see the screen. Sorry about that. That's page 2.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
we got it in the packet.
yep. So page 2 just goes through the rate history for Codington County. And this is the first 3 years I did not have the insurance here. And ever since then, I've been running it so I know those are 100% accurate. The first three, I'm, according to what was in the paper, I think they're right. So as you can see, right now, we're going to be going to 777 for basically the equipment plan, which is about 11.6% higher than the single rate was back in 2015, 7 years ago. So overall, I know I don't like any rate increases, but considering the losses that we've had in the last couple of years, I'm very, very relieved is the right word for it, that we did not have a higher increase. So if you take a look at the number 2 on the bottom there, Sanford did pay out $2,008,000 worth of claims from May of 2018 through April of 2020, and took in $1,646,000 in premium. That is real money, you know. So they lost about 400,000. Now, I will always caveat that with saying they lose it to themselves, you know. But it still is real. You know, if you had to go to another company, they would have to pay Sanford that kind of money. So we're more because Sanford has a larger discount than the average, you know. So it's kind of a interesting thing. I did want to point out again on number 3, they did lower our initial decision last year from the 25% to the 15%. So even adding the 9.1%, we're about the same as what they said they were going to be last year. So I guess, you know, and as far as that goes, I would recommend we take it just because I think they've been very good to us. So the third page does go through and go actually through the third form does actually go through what the losses were. So if you look at the first page, it's from May 1st of 17 to June 30th of 2020. Oh no, May 1st, 2017 to April 30th of 2018. That's the service dates. So if you take a look on that one, if you look on the bottom, the loss ratio of that year was 90%, just under 90, 89.66%. If you go through the amounts, the total premium billed was $739,000 on the bottom of that first part. Medical claims billed, so they took in, the total premium was $739,000. The medical claims billed alone were $1.35 million. Medical claims allowed, so their discounts brought it down to $644,000. The amount paid was $555,000. So the rest of it is basically what the employees' deductibles and co-insurances and that type of thing are. So the medical savings, 50%. Then there's prescription claims of $108,000. So total paid out was $663,000. So if you see the $663,000 compared to the $739,000, that's where they come up with the 89% loss ratio. So then the next page is the same thing, but that one's from May 1st of 18 to April 30th of 19. And if you take a look, the total premium billed was $790,000. I'm just going to go straight over to the other end. Total incurred claims plus IBNR. The IBNR is future claims they expect in that amount of time. Well, that's been a time ago, so there's only like $54 left that they expect to come in. But they actually paid out $1.162 million for 146% loss ratio in that year. Last year, you know, from May 1st of 2019 to April 30th of 2020, they took in $856,000 in premium and paid out $873,000. Actual paid out 102%. That does not include any, you know, billing costs, any other costs that they have for running the business. So it's been pretty good as far as what they're paying out. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that.
What did you say? So IBR is the
IBNR?
IBNR.
Yep. That's the claims they expect in the future. So, you know, as it gets closer, so like right now, what's that?
During the period in question.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for April of 2020, They're still expecting $6,000 worth of claims to come in for that period approximately. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's recent enough that with the amount of bills that came in and with the type of procedures that were done, they're still expecting $6,000 worth of bills. But that's what the IBNR means, so. But overall, I don't know if you have any questions. I'm relieved. I think this is the right word for it.
Yep.
Both Cindy and I.
Yes.
Is it as low as we want? No, it's not.
So do we need to take action on this? If so, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, so we have
Accept
a
the
motion and a second
proposal.
to accept the proposal.
So we're basically agreeing to the,
Agreeing to the renewal rates.
right.
I don't think we can do better. Sanford's treated our county pretty good, I think.
And I
So
will tell you, I've had comments, Myron, you asked last week,
Yep.
and I have had comments from various employees since that time on how good the coverage is. Employees are happy with the plan.
And don't screw it up.
And they
No, I'm
also,
just answering your question from last week.
yeah,
Thank
and they
you.
do appreciate, Ray, you come in and meet with the employees on a regular basis and if there's any issues, so that's also much appreciated.
and we know behind the scenes, Ray, too, that you're talking with the folks at Sanford and trying to keep those rates low. We do appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and I really appreciate the business I do. It works both ways. I mean, we're trying the best we can to keep it as low as we can for you. And
I think the most important part of it is we know where Ray lives too.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
are we ready to
Ray.
vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure, yeah.
Have a good week.
Thank you. We'll see you.
So item number 12, Rick is going to want to probably come up here maybe, and someone else, Banner Associates Incorporated presentation on the 2020 bridge inspections.
This is Mark Yunker. He's with Banner and Associates. He does our bridge inspections.
All right.
He's got a presentation for us.
Can you give us your name again, please?
Mark Yunker.
Yunker, okay.
This is the good news, right?
Of course.
Oh, nobody's fallen through yet, so that's good, right?
Yet.
I do have a little slideshow put together if you want to follow along on the TV screen.
Just tell me when I'm the flipper, so. just tell me
Sure.
when to-
Yeah, you can go to the next slide. My name's Mark Yunker. I am a professional engineer with Banner Associates. I've been inspecting Codington County's bridge system for the last 17 years. And I'm here today just to give you a general overview of your bridge system. Did meet with Rick Hartley this morning and went over details of the inspection. And I'm gonna be going out with Lynn, the assistant superintendent, after the meeting and bringing him under a few of the bridges and showing him some things that need to be fixed. That is me in the duck boat underneath the bridge. We do get underneath and take a good look at things and do a good job going over the bridges. And
I was worried you were still out there, standing there holding it up.
next slide. An overview of the bridge inspection program. Bridge is considered any structure with an opening of 20 foot or longer underneath. And it is a federal requirement that bridges be inspected every 2 years at a minimum. And in South Dakota, the DOT does pay 80% of the inspection costs, and then the county picks up the remaining 20%. And the reason we inspect bridges are for the safety of the traveling public. And as a professional engineer, you know, I have a ethical responsibility to hold paramount the welfare of the public. And so that's our job, is the safety of the public when we're out inspecting. Next slide. Something new for this year. All of the consultants are required to meet with the county commissions. That hasn't been done in the past. In the past years, I've just met with Mr. Hartley directly and his predecessor, Mr. Small. So this is new, and I think it'll be ongoing that we're required to meet with the commission also from now on. Next slide. You do currently have 40 bridges on your system, and approximately 2/3 of those bridges are inspected during even years. So I inspected 2/3 of your system this year, and then the other third are inspected in odd years, which would have been last year and will be in 2021. And out of those 40 bridges, currently you have 6 bridges that have weight limit restrictions. 2 of them are on county asphalt roads, 1's on a county gravel road, and then 3 remaining are on township gravel. The 3 on county roads are new for this year and have been implemented with a 2020 inspection. And you do have 1 bridge currently under construction on County Gravel 4 over the Big Sioux River. Next slide. And so here's a map of your 40 bridges. The green dots are open to legally loaded trucks, and the red dots have a weight limit restriction in place. Yep. You do have a number of bridges that are getting towards the end of their lifespan coming up in the future. These are approximate dates and approximate timeline, but in the next 10 years, you're probably looking at 4 bridges that will need a major rehab or replacement. And 3 of those are on county asphalt, 1's on county gravel. And in the next 15 years, you have another 5. Again, you have 3 on county asphalt and then a couple on township gravel. And looking 20 years out, you've got another 4, a couple on county asphalt and a couple on township gravel. You add all those up, that's roughly 1/3 of your bridge system that's going to need major work or replacement within the next couple decades. The county has done a good job at replacing bridges. It's just, you just have a bunch of them that are that age, getting towards the end of their lifespan, and have deteriorated to the point where something needs to be done with them, especially if you want to keep them at or near legal loads, to carry truck traffic. Yep. And so this map shows kind of that previous slide information. The red dots are projects in the next 10 years. The orange dots are the next 15, and then the blue are the next 20. And then the green would have a lifespan of more than 20 years.
Question on just, so the ones with weight limits, they don't look like they correspond to necessarily to the ones that are in our weight limits set sometimes just because, the age and the condition of the bridge or is that originally planned into the structure of the thing?
Some of the planning are like the 10 years or less do have higher traffic volumes, or maybe on your county roads.
Right.
Whereas a bridge on a township road, although very important to the farmer who lives next to it, maybe not the county in general, just less traffic, so maybe not as high a priority.
So looking at all the different factors.
Yeah, different factors that go into that.
Yeah.
Is there set criteria to determine if the bridge should be repaired, replaced, or replaced with a culvert system?
As part of that process, we do a hydraulic study, and during that time period, we look at different options. What's the most feasible if you put in a bridge or if you can, a box culvert is a great bang for your buck. You know, they last a long time and there's very little maintenance with a box culvert. So during that preliminary engineering phase, we look at those options and do a cost estimate for each of those options and decide what's the best product moving forward. And the DOT is involved in that process too, and input from the county.
A lot depends on the water volume that's going to go through that.
Yeah, correct, yes. In the details I went over with Rick this morning, and I'll be bringing Lynn out to some of these sites too. You do have a number of repair and maintenance items that need to be done throughout the county. Some of them involve scour and erosion underneath the bridge, which need to be fixed up. There's a potential to lose the roadway in a large flood event if some of that doesn't get repaired. And then just some general maintenance items like repainting rusted steel underneath the bridge. Next slide.
Some of this we'll be able to do, but some of it we'll have to contract out because we do not have enough equipment to get under there, place riprap and things like that we just aren't equipped to do.
That's what I was gonna see, if it's something you had to outsource or someone would be able to do in-house.
These are some general photo shots of like erosion and scour problems underneath some of your bridges. It can get to the point where during a large flood event, it can start to eat out the roadway material, and I have seen roadways collapse because of that. So it's also a preventative maintenance to keep your roadway intact too, so. And then these pictures are just some general rust and corrosion happening on some of your bridges, which are generally in good condition, but items like this need to be addressed to keep them in good condition. And then something I've been encouraging Rick to do in all his spare time is do some preventative maintenance things, like wash your decks in the spring, try to get the salt off of them, do some washing on the ends of the steel girders to try to keep the corrosion in check, and doing some things like that. And these items are, when you apply for a grant for to replace a bridge, you have to submit your record of maintenance. This is gonna, I foresee this becoming more important as time goes on. If the county can't show that they are repairing and maintaining their bridge system, I think eventually it's going to get to the point where they're not going to give you grant money to replace your bridges.
Try to help yourself to prolong that hope.
Yep. And
Those BIG grants are very competitive grants, so.
They would like to see a trail from the start of a new bridge till it's time to be replaced then.
correct. These are some examples of bridges that are in good shape where it'd be well worth your time to wash the decks in the spring and wash the bearings and the ends of the steel girders off to get some of that salt off of it every spring. So example.
These are three of the bridges that we had epoxy seal done 2 years ago. All three of these.
If you have a heavy rain event though, doesn't that kind of do the same sort of thing or not as effective?
I would say it's not as effective eventually, but I think rain will wash that out. But if you really flood the deck with water and really use a large volume of water, it would get it off more quickly.
Have a street sweeper go by and clean it off for us.
I guess so. A takeaway that the commission should be aware of is that you do have 3 new weight restrictions in place in 2020. There are likely more to come. There will need to be an investment, especially in the next couple decades here in your bridge system. Especially if you want to keep all your bridges at or near legal loads. And your main option for funding right now is the big program through the DOT. And then of course, local funding is also an option, so. Next one. Any questions that you guys have, I'd be happy to answer.
So is this a pretty, I mean, our county is a pretty typical of what you see? Or,
I would say your bridge system in general is as good or better than the surrounding counties.
okay,
You do have, as I alluded to before, a number of bridges which are on county asphalt that are towards the end of their lifespan. And the bill is going to come due on those. So
And what's the estimated lifespan, 40 years?
for a new bridge or
Or for the ones that you're talking about, they're coming to the end of their, how old are they? How old are some of these bridges that you're referring to?
some of them aren't that old. Some of them are around 50 years. I'd say your priority is, yeah, we're around 50 years, I would say.
Yeah.
Yep.
so these are on the plan, so to speak, these are the ones that were, so you're tracking them,
Yeah,
so.
all the bridges that got load restrictions on them this year are going on the 5-year plan.
Yes.
Right,
That here in a couple weeks, we'll be going over with First District. So hopefully we can get everything in the process of moving forward.
right, okay.
Great, thank you.
All right, that's good, yeah, good rundown.
Thank you for your business and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes. Any other questions or are we all good? All right, appreciate it. All right, Rick gets to stay. Item number 13, opening of the bids for the County Road 82 grade raise project and action to award a bid. Okay, sure. Thank you.
You might as well come up here.
How many did we
Need
get?
an opener?
9. I better go make sure that nothing came in.
We got a pile of them, don't we?
9.
Yeah, let's put a pile.
That's good.
The first one
Yep, I counted that too. I'm like, we just have enough lines.
is from Halmy, I think, from Bryant, South Dakota.
How do you spell that?
HALME.
Bryant?
Yep. Okay.
Participation's building.
Okay, and there's a bid bond. There we go. Looks like the first one is $623,902.50.
Is there supposed to be an alternate on the?
Yes. And the alternate is $346,275.
So is the alternate an add-on to the 623? Is that what that,
So it would replace certain bid items in the base bid with these items, so it's not a complete add, it's a substitution.
okay,
What we decided was if the water table was up high enough, that we'd want to put a layer of rock down on the bottom before you start putting the pit run gravel sands on, to give it more stability. So we just decided out front to gather those good prices now, rather than try to do it after the fact.
so is the total bid 970,000?
No.
It's not, okay. That's what's on the board up there. So that's why I'm asking.
No, that would not be the total. I would total, let's make the award on based on the base bid,
Okay,
and the alternates will only be.
okay,
if
so,
needed.
so yeah, it's not, that
No.
970 is not a total.
No, it should be
I'll hide
the
it.
623,902 number should be what you.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
Focused on.
Okay,
Did they acknowledge the bid?
Hmm?
Did they acknowledge that? There was an. They probably just go all the way from gravel.
I'll let you look.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Shane Waterman with Clark Engineering. I prepared the plans and specs for this project. And look forward to getting this important project completed for the county. Apparently this is a very high use traffic area and much needed to get this road back in operation. So hopefully our plan is to have that completed by the end of the year.
Sorry about that. All right, the second one is from WMD Spec Panic from Sapanic from Holdingford, Minnesota.
Holding forward.
Sapanic. Is that what you said?
Yep.
You spell that right?
SCEPANIAK.
Not even close.
Well, my pronunciation wasn't the greatest.
Not the easiest to pronounce.
Go ahead.
They acknowledged the addendum. They have a bid bond. You want me to read it?
Go ahead. You
It's
got
up
it in
to
your
you.
hands.
It's up to you.
You go right ahead.
All right. Base bid is $582,443.50. $532,443.50. Can everybody hear me back
You
there?
said 532.
532.
532.
443.
The alternate is $319,968.75. Again, $319,968.75. What was the first number?
No.
So the
Yeah,
first number is
I-
the base bid.
I-
What was it again? $532,443.50.
I think you said 582 the first, you said 582 the first time. Sorry.
I heard 32.
I had
I wrote down
532.
32 from the
I heard-
beginning.
I heard like-
I heard 82. Shane, you were right.
You're
You were-
I'll do
It's 532.
I'll do a better.
Yeah, there we go. These can look like dates if you're not looking.
I'm not used to having the whole issue right back.
This is true. No, definitely. Sitting in the UN, everybody's-
Okay, this one is from Midland Contracting from Huron, South Dakota.
Okay, they have acknowledged the addendum. They have a bid bond. Base bid is $696,690.50. Read that one more time. $696,690.50. The alternate is $379,054.50. $379,054.50.
Go ahead.
It's amazing now on the $500,000 bids, they can get 50 down to 50 cents.
The next one is from Clausen and Sons Construction from Watertown, South Dakota.
They acknowledge the addendum. Bid bond. Base bid, $502,513.25. $502,513.25. Alternate is $346,139.25. One more time, $346,139.25.
Okay, the next one is from Jolie Construction, and I do believe they were from Lake Preston. SJOLIE.
So S space Joey.
They've acknowledged the addendum, the bid bond. Base bid is $670,680. Again, $670,680. The alternate is $368,891.25. Again, $368,891.25.
Okay, this bid is from Clausen Construction. From Watertown, South Dakota also.
Not Clausen, it's not
No.
just Clausen.
Clausen Construction. The first one's Clausen and Sons.
Right. Yep, I just making sure.
They acknowledge the addendum. Bid bond. Base bid, $538,300.24. $538,300.24. Alternate is $251,517.25. $251,517.25.
Okay, this one is from Midwest Contracting, Marshall, Minnesota.
Is it in Minnesota, what town? Marshall?
Marshall.
Why did they include the whole book?
I was wondering why that one was so heavy when I grabbed it.
Holy cow.
They acknowledge the addendum and have a bid bond. The amount of their base bid is $611,384.25. One more time, $611,384.25. Their alternate is $349,249.50. $349,249.50.
Okay, the next one is from Rounds Construction, Brookings, South Dakota.
Okay, they acknowledge the addendum. Bid bond. Base bid is $507,672.30. $507,672.30. Alternate is $269,581.20. Again, $269,581.20.
The last one is from J&J Earthworks from Millbank, South Dakota.
Acknowledge the addendum. Bid bond. Base bid is $561,670, or no, excuse me, $561,622. Again, $561,622. Alternate is $228,174.25. Again, $228,174.25. $174.25. Okay, so, bids come in fantastic. I used the standard, numbers from the state DOT list to create a cost estimate, and then I tweaked it up a little bit, given the shortness of and the time of the year, because we're gonna be fighting some freezing weather and ice. So my estimate was $731,000, which is indicated at the top of the bid tab page that I sent out. If you make award, I would do it contingent upon double checking all the math to make sure that the order doesn't change, because the two bids that are apparent low are so close together that one little math error could change that. So that I would put that question mark behind my recommendation for you to award, is that unless you want me to quick check the math and then make award next week.
We can do that, or if we're still in the meeting, if you,
Well, next week
I don't know how
we-
much time.
Yeah, there's 2 weeks, no meeting, it's not for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 weeks.
So
So,
I guess if you wanna, we can go out in the hall and, or wherever you wanna go and
We can quick do some math.
do some math between the two of them.
Okay,
Yep.
well, yes, check 2 lowest bids at least, and then, so that there's not
we'll
anything-
just wait for you to come back in.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
That's a pretty tight spread there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Assume that everything's.
Yeah.
Yep, better safe than sorry.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, so we'll move on then to item number 14, discussion on community systems of care case management. And Lee, you have information on.
Yeah, it's just, this will be quick. Just, you remember on the, we talked about the budget and different things we might want to add. One of those things, if you recall, was about case management for social services. So I mentioned that 2 weeks ago we had, or two weeks, a week ago Friday, we had a meeting of the Behavioral Health Justice Working Group. So Commissioner Johnson is on the committee with me, and then Commissioner Hannon was present too. But essentially, we started talking about this kind of community health, community-wide case manager. We kind of sort of had a little bit of that with the deflection program, but because of the way that was set up, it was designed mostly to work with law enforcement. This is something we're kind of seeing that it would be helpful to do all the way around. So put this person somewhere where they can kind of keep track of all the people that might be, say, seeing ICAP, the County Welfare Office, HSA, trying to keep tabs on a person. And that, the idea is to facilitate a warm handoff between one agency and the next, or to prevent people from, say, going to 2 agencies at once and trying something. So right now, you've heard us talk about using ICAP for this. So that would be, and we talked to, was it Cindy or
Arlene, both.
Arlene. So talking to them, so get a rough cost estimate on what that would be if we were to contract with them to do that. It would work out to about $500 a week, which if it was all every week of the year, that would come out to about $28,000. So kind of roughly a little bit more than what we were paying for the deflection program. Talked to Sarah, and she made a suggestion. Another alternative to that is to take her part-time employee and just add the 19 hours to that person. So and it's a little bit more than the 28,000, but it's in that $30,000. But basically all I want to do with this discussion today is just put a bug in your ear, because we have to approve the budget. So this is something we got to be thinking about. We could discuss whether or not to add it to, say, the commissioner's budget or to the welfare budget. So those are the two options. They cost roughly the same. There's a little bit more cost if you do the welfare office option, because you're getting closer to full-time employee, you have to do all the benefits and everything like that. So what I'd like to do, if you guys have questions right now, I can try to answer them, but I think what I'd like to do is lay out all the pros and cons. Cost is one of them, but other things like we have a good part-timer in the welfare office right now. On the other hand, ICAP has social workers doing it. So those
You're gonna have to designate what is this case management a function of? Is it a function of the commissioner's budget or is it a function?
I think
of
it's
the
probably,
welfare?
actually, I think it's probably more functionally welfare.
Okay,
I mean, the
that's what we
appropriate place.
need, that's what we
The
need to
appropriate
determine.
place.
We don't want to put something in the commissioner's budget that is not a function of your budget. I mean,
Yeah, I think
when you get, if
functionally-
you get to that point, welfare would seem the place to put it.
That's what functionally what it is.
Okay,
That's
all
fine. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. The big thing for us, I
All
think,
right.
is cost. So,
Just before we get any further.
I wanted to put, so you guys could be thinking about it since we have to approve the budget soon. I wanted to be talking about as far as the actual avenue we pursue, assuming you think you see the need, like I do, and you've heard us talk about warm handoffs and the need to make sure that we're getting the most out of all these social services programs that are out there for our community, because I think most of you know my motivation is to try to control the jail numbers ultimately. But also we just plain want to help people in the most effective way possible. So when they need those services. So that's basically the idea. And that's
If we were to give that responsibility to the welfare office, what would that do for hours for that part-time employee then? What are we looking at?
it would add 19 hours.
Okay,
Basically, yeah.
so-
That would make that a full-time position.
Effectively, yeah. So when you cost it out, it's about, it was for the ICAP option, it worked out like what, 28,000. And for the welfare, I don't know if you have that handy, but I think it was 29 and something. I'll get out, what I want to do is maybe the next meeting, we have to approve, I can do a pro con list on each of those two options. You can see. So cost is one of them, but there's other things too. So.
Control, it seems like control.
I would
Yeah.
add to
You know,
that.
who's going to have control? I
Yes.
mean,
Right.
yeah.
My comment to that is if you make the part-time person full-time, you don't have a full-time welfare director managing that person. So it seemed kind of,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think it would add 19 hours, so I'm not sure, is she at 20 now or 19?
she's under,
Yeah, so I think it'd be the same, I think yeah. So
it would become full-time, but then you wouldn't have a full-time welfare director who should be the one managing that person.
Well, yeah. So anyway, I'll try to lay out those all on a list of pros and cons, get a slide, say that on our next meeting, I'll try to send it out ahead of time so you guys have a chance to look at it. And then, but I wanted to mention that now because it's budget time.
Is there any kind of a job description?
Yeah. Sarah talked to that. Sarah kind of talked to that, and also the agreement. I mean, we can look at the agreement for that ICAP sent us. Kind of the basic nuts and bolts of that. I mean, that's kind of what it would be, and then that's probably a more concise version. And then we did have Sarah a while ago take a look at the case management thing too. The other thing that's interesting is we had a discussion about the community. It's called community health worker. But that's a kind of a position that's out there in both the healthcare and the social services world. And it's a new program at LATI. So we got talking about, and we thought this might be the same issue, but it kind of is different, but it could be an opportunity to bring some LATI interns or job shadowers in. So that's another thing we're talking into our welfare office. So that would be if that works out, that's a nice thing to help LATI, but it also might be a help every now and again in the office. But that's not something, it turns out that we thought we might be able to use that as part of this, but it turns out that they can't provide LATI cannot provide an intern year round or something like that. So
Question, Lee, on your figure for the added hours in the welfare department, you said it was about 29,000.
yeah, it's a little over 29.
Did that include benefits?
That included the benefits. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Wages and benefits.
yeah, it went up a little bit. When Sarah redid but it still stayed in that rough area when Sarah looked at the insurance rates. And then, the other thing to keep in mind as we talk about that is, that there's step increases and all that. So, but really I don't know, the cost is so close. I mean, there are other factors involved. So let me sit back and get you something that'll help us all digest it in a pro and con way. So.
Because the only thing is then I guess I feel if you're gonna have the part-time help go to full-time, you need to have the supervisor full-time supervising. I don't think it's proper to have the part-time person full-time and your supervisor or
Yeah,
not.
that's something-
I don't
that's
know if
now-
it's illegal though. I don't think it's illegal. I think it can happen.
Well, I don't think it happens very often. You
Well-
need your supervisor there
Well, I think at
supervising.
this point, we just need to get some information
Yeah.
and bring it back to
I-
us.
so, Since I started. the
Then we can
discussion,
make an
since I
informed
started it
decision.
off with it.
So
Pretty sure.
anyway, that will be moved over to the welfare either way,
Yeah.
even if
so-
it's the,
Yeah, yeah,
contract.
yeah, I'm sorry, it logically makes sense that way, so it's proper.
Thanks for your work on that.
so, then our IT, we decided we needed to add a little bit more to that line item. And then,
Yeah,
also the
Let me
commissioners,
pull that up.
other
I think I
current
got
That's already in
expenditures. You do have that.
The IT is in there.
We added, we thought it might have been a little short.
Okay,
Do
I
you
did
have-
use the number that Lee provided.
Okay.
me.
Yeah,
So
it's-
that was initially.
I think,
That was an initial.
my one worry is, while we're on this, we're getting on budget a little bit here. Let's see if I can find this. The concern with the IT is that, yeah, that's it, right? That's it there. That's what I had on the screen last time, but the IT, it's 43 something. The issue could be that as they do that survey, so they're giving us that survey, the full assessment for free as part of the deal. And if they find an extra computer or two that we want to add on that managed IT services, that's going to cost a little bit more. So I think we probably have to approve that for one, is because that would change the quote amount, right? Or is that just, so, but anyway. I mean, otherwise we just stick,
No,
don't
we
cover
just-
those. We just stick with it. If they find a new computer, we just don't cover it.
We
decide not to
signed an
cover it.
agreement.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Well, the way the agreement is structured is we'd have to go back and add those computers. I mean, so we took a little while because their standard agreement structure wasn't, the state's attorney, looked at it good and hard and had to make a few changes so that we would have a hard and fast figure on the agreement, that the one that we agreed to earlier, which was 43,000 and something. So
All
that makes
right.
sense, right?
And then what do you have, Cindy, for?
I think I don't think she's added the welfare case management one yet.
No,
I don't think
but-
that's the one that's not added in here.
Item 429 should be 66. What do you have, or what did we have? Because that's an extra, it was 62, an extra 4,000 to do.
I think
to include a
62
wage and
might
a-
be okay, still okay anyway, so,
Thinking,
yeah. I think that'd be okay.
Well, that's something that you'll take action on at the last meeting.
Right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we'll have to figure that out.
Anyway.
All right, then that's. Shane's back. Are you ready? And Rick, I guess. You guys ready to come back up and you can come up? So, yeah, we should be okay.
All right, so we checked the two lowest bids only. So that would be the lowest bid, apparent bid is from Clausen and Sons Construction in the amount of $502,513.25. We checked that against the second low bid, which is Round's Construction, in the amount of $507,672.30. Found no errors in either of those two bids. So my recommendation is to award it to Clausen and Sons Construction, contingent upon no further math errors, which would change the order of the thing. And it's, the next two low bids are, $30,000 above these. So you're gonna have to have a substantial error to change the order. So I think you're pretty comfortable on making an award based on that.
I'd move to accept the bid of Boston Sun.
All right,
Second.
have a motion and a second, and that is contingent on any further
Yeah,
errors that are
Reviews,
found.
yep.
Yep.
I'm gonna
with
go
the
from
review.
here to Clark Engineering's office here in town and then make copies so Shane can take them with him and go through all that.
Okay.
I just have one question. I mean, and these bids vary quite a bit in monies, so somebody must be looking for work. The alternative bid, why did we have the alternative bids?
Okay, so when we prepare these bids, we're far in advance of actual construction. And one of the concerns here was similar to what you had the last time you raised this grade up. We had rainfalls that then soon inundated that work and made it unusable, right? The road got flooded and you're not able to use it. So what we did is, if the water table raised this weekend or next weekend or whatever, if it rains 6 inches, I guess what I'm saying, and this goes underwater again, we have these bid items in place to put rock down at the bottom so that we can build ourselves back out of the water and then build the road on top of the water. Without that, we would be doing that as a change order after the fact. I wanted to have at least costs locked in today so that I knew if we had to switch the game during construction, I knew what those costs were going to be. So I was just trying to have an alternative that would be to the benefit of the county and have those numbers up front instead of asking for them after the fact. So it's just a planning scheme.
Because currently the road is that far out of water. So, and,
For the viewers, that was about 1/4 of an inch,
yeah,
right?
it's not much. So, and it's been closed all summer. So, yep.
Okay.
Another question on that alternate. So as we, just to make sure that we're making the right choice here, how much, because there is a significant difference between these two, the two lowest base bids and the alternate. I mean, how much of a, I guess it comes down to like level of risk that we'd have to exercise that option.
Correct.
So,
we're running on the presumption that we don't have to do the alternate. But I mean, if this was underwater right now, we would probably do the extra math and interchange that.
Okay.
But Rick's fairly confident that we were trending towards drier than wetter.
how many feet does the alternate provide? I mean, much higher does it get? Or is that?
Well, we build ourselves out in the first foot of rock.
Okay.
In the base bid.
The base bid.
That's good.
So we,
Get you a foot.
Yeah, because last year it was about this time when it went underwater and it was about 1 foot over the road.
right.
We had a significant rainfall episode that pushed this one and another road underwater last fall.
So how much more would the alternate add?
Well, I think the Commissioner Gable's point is if we had to do the rock, the apparent bidder would be Rounds versus Clausen.
Yes.
Well, that's.
But then how much more does that alternate add on top of the?
How much? Yeah, shoot, that we're kind of
Right.
also
So-
asking how many feet higher is the?
Yeah,
alternate?
not price wise, but yeah, how
Yeah.
much more feet do
Thinking
you
about it.
gain by doing the alternate?
But the price is part of it.
Okay, so the sections are the same, it's just the materials that you use.
Oh, okay.
So instead of using a foot of pit run gravel, we would use a foot of rock.
Gotcha.
And then we would go with pit run above that.
Okay.
So it's
Because we're still gonna wind up the 4 feet above the creek.
Okay, all right.
So the Clausen, one for 502,000 here and change. And with the 346 as the alternative, the total budget or the total for the repair if everything doesn't go right is 846,000.
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
So what I did is the alternate bid items would be used in place of bid items that are up in the base bid. So in other words, I had a reduced amount of pit run gravel in the base bid if I used the rock in the alternates.
The rock is cheaper.
Yes, correct. So that's how we set that up so we could interchange pieces
Okay.
efficiently.
Question of materials.
Right,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Instead of 4 feet of pit run, there'd be 3 feet of pit run and 1 foot of rocks. Roughly.
Correct. Yep. That's a good summary.
All right. Any other questions? Are we ready to
Are
vote?
you comfortable
Yep.
that we don't need to rock?
Let's get it done.
Okay.
The longer we wait, the bigger chance we take it.
You're able to do it right now.
Yeah.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. We will award the bid to Clausen and Sons Construction.
Thank you.
Yep.
I will let them know.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Shane.
gentlemen.
Guys.
Thanks, Shane, for coming.
Good.
All right, item number 15, discussion possible action to enact a ban on open burning. Don't think we need to worry about that. Item number 16, action to approve claims for payments.
I laid claims lists on your desk. The total claims are $973,633.24. Of that amount, $615,777.71 is passed through to the state of South Dakota for motor vehicle collections and various fees at the Register of Deeds office. On page 2, at the bottom of the page is the court-appointed attorney budget, which is 67% spent in the month
We're
of,
getting close, though.
yep.
Have they turned in all their bills?
Well, they turn them in monthly and they come in large groups sometimes. So we're gonna have to watch that.
They are doing better.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to bring up another pending case, but I'm sure that's gonna hit the county pretty hard, and that's a homicide case that's coming up too. that we need to
And it
be
may
aware of.
not hit us till the next year. Let's put it,
Okay,
I don't know, you know,
it could.
just
I mean,
depends,
it
yeah.
could, But just something to
Yeah.
keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we have clerk. On page 4, there is a claim in the sheriff's office to Watertown Motor Company, and that was one of the patrol vehicles that you authorized Brad to purchase earlier this year, $29,682 for a 2020 Dodge Ram 1500. I don't think there were too many other highlights unless anybody has any questions.
All right. So we need, or did I miss a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by Gable, second by Waterman. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 17, any items under COVID-19 practices that we have to discuss?
So
Don't
we got
see
a
any,
task force meeting on Thursday.
Yep.
So the city hasn't.
Right.
Those for a while.
in the morning. Item number 18, action to approve automatic budget supplements.
I have nothing for 18 or 19.
All right. Travel requests, looks like we have one.
One travel request for the Director of Equalization Office to attend. Actually, it's the director and one appraiser to attend the District 8 meeting in Aberdeen.
So move.
Motion
Second.
by Van Duzen, second by Waterman.
Mhm.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Public notices this next week and will basically be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. SDACC convention in Sioux Falls. Any other public notices that anyone can think of that there could be a problem?
So no meeting next week.
No meeting next Tuesday.
Oh, there's government affairs, but that's a Zoom meeting. So I was going to attend that one.
And I have an ag meeting. Item number 22, old business. Do you have anything? None. Any new business? Item number 23. Anything for the open? Doesn't look like any need for an executive session, Natalie. We do have a need for executive session under. All right, number 1. I would look for a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
But
Motion by Johnson, second by Van Duzen. No, okay. Nothing will come out after. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we're in executive session. Okay.